Hello, everyone, and welcome to Knights Cup 2023. This is the final game of the day on a shortened schedule due to very poor weather. It will be Harvard versus Michigan. Harvard is going to start this one with dodgeball control. Jess Lee and Andy Chen, I believe, are the two starting beaters for Harvard. And Julian Toryakov will run up for quad ball for Michigan, and Ryan Sue will be the beater running up for Michigan. Making sure the hoops are set up here is head ref Chris Lecomte. And I think we'll shortly be underway.
Live is also up.
Hudson, Q, Rutgers, that yellow line is inbounds. You guys got to back up. All right, hopefully we're going to get started here in a second. Harvard has Felix Bola, Leo Freed, Anna Blanchfield, and Mac Merton starting. Michigan, Johnson, Levy. Let me try to get some numbers here. Margolis, and I'm unsure who their second beater is. I think it's Ray Roder. Tough to tell with the addition of the winter hat. I think it's Ray Roder. All right.
Ready! Move up!
And here we go. Toryakov is going to keep this one slow. Gets it to Levy. Levy with Sue in front. Sue and Broder looking to get control back. Levy sends it deep to Toryakov. Toryakov marked by Freed, although not too high. Right back to Levy. Broder gets beat out. Chen gets beat out. Sue gets, he was not beat. Levy, misbeat from Lee. Levy gets it over to Johnson, and Johnson does the reverse finish. Pretty finish there to put Michigan up 10-0. Freed picks it up at mid-pitch, live quad ball. Gets it to Blanchfield, up top, and then far side to Bola, marked by Michigan there, and then Blanchfield. Back to Freed. Freed is wrapped up by Johnson. Blanchfield picks it up. Reset is used, though. Margolis comes out up high. Bola now. Drives to the right of Margolis, and then hits the shot to the left. Great finish there from Felix Bola to tie this game up at 1 goal apiece.
Hey guys, another one on the defensive set. Once you just split. Let's go, Harvard!
Levy with quad ball for Michigan. Sue and Broder still looking to get control back. Broder going around behind this time for Michigan. Levy keeping it slow. Sue makes a beat Chen on Chen, but then Broder gets beat by Lee, but Sue is able to grab control as Levy cannot finish over Bola after he'd gotten the pass from Toryakov. And then Freed just absolutely stuffs Toryakov and dodges a beat from Jess Lee. That's 2 misses for her early. And it's still very wet out here in New Brunswick, so that will continue to play a part in this game as it has all games today. Lee gets it, Chen. He'll carry the dodgeball for Harvard. Blanchfield gets it to Bola on the right side. Back over to Freed, going to be marked by Johnson in the green headband. Back up to Blanchfield. And then back again to Bola, marked by Margolis. Goes right of Margolis. And then around Levy, cannot get the reverse shot to fall, but Freed is first to it. Just missed by Sue. And then Mac Martins is able to finish through the contact of Julian Toryakov, and Harvard takes the lead 2-1. Leo Freed standing over the quad ball there, forcing Johnson to ask head referee to hand it to him in the keeper zone. Toryakov is going to be ball carrier, though, on this possession. Huge hit there in beater play between Jessley and Ray Brodeur. Toryakov absolutely stuffed by Freed. Freed picks it up and runs, and then we have a quick whistle. Unsure what this whistle is about. Because it happened when Harvard picked up the quad ball, I assume it is a call against Harvard, but don't really have any ideas what it might be for. Long discussion. Coaches from both teams utilizing this time to talk to their players. And looks like we're finally gonna have a call here. So it's gonna be a yellow card on Jessley. I missed what the card was for, but it is both a quad ball and dodge ball turnover. So Julian Toryakov now has quad ball in hand, Leo Freed right in his face. And Ryan Sue already has a dodgeball in hand. One dodgeball is now going to be placed, or Jess Lee's dodgeball is now going to be placed at Michigan hoops. And there's a loose dodgeball on the ground that Andy Chen is going to try to run for here on the left side. Actually, no, it was in Chen's hands before the whistle. And with Ray Brodeur off broom, it is just going to be one beater aside here for the moment. Sue beats out Bowa. Toryakov goes right side on Freed, then gets it back up to the middle of Levy. Levy keeping it slow, letting Brodeur get back into the place so they can really work this beater power play. Over to Toryakov. Freed cannot be beat, marking Toryakov. Toryakov eventually goes right, goes around, gets the call that it was a good goal, even though it definitely did not go through the hoop. And then because Bola had picked it up and run, he didn't think it was good. He actually had to give it back to Freed to reset and make the quaff alive. So that's going to tie this one up at 2. And both of Michigan's goals are actually on those reverse hook around shots on that far right hoop. Boa, middle to Freed, marked by Johnson, back to Freed, or Boa, back to Freed again. Now marked by Levy, back to Boa, marked by Johnson, far side Blanchfield. Dodgeball's on the ground, back to Freed. Freed's shot is no good. A bunch of bodies fall on that. And Ryan Sue is going to be here to clean it up for Michigan. And a good defensive stop there for Michigan, keeping the score all tied up at 2. Toryakov bringing the quad ball up the pitch. Brodeur and Sue with dodgeball control. Johnson going down the left side. Lee beat out. Sue in front of Toryakov. Gets it over to Levy in the middle. Michigan has been warned for stalling. Toryakov drives through, gets around Freed, and then scores again on a reverse shot that Blanchfield can't stop. Freed picks it up, is hit by Johnson, he gets rid of it. Bola fights for it, but is beat by Sue. And Freed, a little bit jumpy there, prevents his team from having a good, long offensive possession, and Michigan now with a chance to go up 2. Sue and Brodeur maintain control as Harvard changes out beaters behind the play. Gottesman now in. Dodgeball in hand. Levy having Sue walk him right up. Passes back to Torikov. Su beats out Chen, or Shu. Shu now in for Chen. Levy picks up a dropped pass. Gets it deep to Torikov again. Despite having control here, Michigan really playing very slowly. A great no-look from Torikov to Levy, passes around Freed, and Michigan extends their lead to 4-2 here in New Brunswick. Freed, great pass to Bola. Bola dodges a beat from Su, right back to Freed. Met by Johnson, gets through him, floats a shot, it's no good. And Kroll gets beat out by Brodeur, so Michigan with another stop. Michigan really starting to show better ball movement. It takes them a while to get it going, but once they do, they've had some great give-and-go looks. Levy again with quad ball. Su in front. Now he's going to pass Su. Over to Torikov in that same left corner, and Leo Freed is going to meet him, although not go too far out. Back to Levy, kind of a rolled pass there. Levy to the middle, and then again to Torikov in the corner. Torikov on Freed. Freed with a huge takedown, comes off boom though. Torikov gets right back up, cannot finish through Bola. And Kroll was gonna fall on that one. There is a discussion here, potentially, for some sort of dive. All right, so it is. So Felix Bola is yellow card for playing after beat through a tackle. Julian Torikov is awarded the quad ball, but Leo Freed is there with his head through the hoop, and Shu is there for Harvard with the beater, or with the dodgeball. So this is a tough place for Michigan. Pops it over, and Margulis cannot handle the pass, and Johnson is beat out. Now there's no dodgeballs for Michigan, although one does get thrown back by Su to Brodeur. And really kind of a worst case scenario there from Harvard with how that restarted off the penalty to Harvard. Blanchfield, ball carrying for Harvard, sends it back to the middle to Freed. He's got Shu in front of him. Gets it to Kroll, right back to Freed. Johnson marking, over to Blanchfield. And then again to Freed. Again, Bola is in the box. Harvard's killing a penalty. Johnson comes out high. Freed gets around him. Kroll now with it. Bola is back in this game. Penalty killed. And now Blanchfield. Michigan here with some of the aggressive point might have prevented themselves from getting a delay of game warning. Blanchfield backpedals again, even though there's no pressure. Gets it to Bola, then right back to Blanchfield. And then again back to Bola. Su with a great catch, might be able to win control here for Michigan, and he will. And with the stop, Michigan can now run. There's no dodgeballs back. Freed is trying to make Johnson slow down. He succeeds in that, but not much more. Johnson then trucks through Bola, but Bola gets a great wrap. And this is going to be a stop for Harvard as Johnson tried to just barrel through Bola instead of going around or passing around. And that's a costly mistake for Michigan, as we're going to leave this one with the score as 4-2. I think we're going to get a whistle here with some advantage calls in the air from the ARs. An exciting start to the game here so far. The big story is really physicality from both sides, making some good stops. There's been multiple no dodgeball opportunities in both directions that have not been capitalized on by the offensive teams. All right, no foul on the play. Harvard stop. Score 4-2 Michigan. And we're back in. Leo Freed, quad ball for Harvard. So they make out some subs. Jess Lee is coming back into this one to play alongside Daniel Gottesman. Freed passed it off to Blanchfield. She goes right at Johnson, passes to Freed. Freed, no good on the shot. Bola can't handle the rebound, and that is out of bounds, Michigan ball. Ryan Sue and Ray Brodeur subbing out for the first time this game. Levy with quad ball. Toyerkoff now in green for Michigan, with Safer and Moulter in as well as chasers. Quad ball makes its way all the way back to Levy. And Lee opted to go for a beater play instead of pressing on Levy. Michigan can punish that. Levy's shot goes through, but Gottesman got the beat off. And Bola is looking to run, even though Michigan has two. I think he saw that and then slowed up. So Leo Freed now with it, and then back up to Bola top. Aggressive beating there. Jess Lee positions her body to win that dodgeball as Butler blows up the quad ball play. Toyerkoff spins around Kroll, almost hits the ground, gets rid of it to Levy, and then Levy is able to finish on the left side, although two refs are calling this no good, so I think we're going to have a talk about it. Nope, goal ref and head ref both agreed, so that's the call we're going to go with. Good goal, 5-2. No dodgeballs for Michigan. Now one comes flying over the camera. Freed is beat out. That was a great throw-in from Butler. And Michigan gets the stop with Toyerkoff. Butler and Ridings for Michigan with dodgeballs against Gottesman and Lee, or Gottesman and Chen. Chen actually just beat out of Michigan chasers. Toyerkoff gets around Freed. Jess Lee misses a beat. And Toyerkoff again around the corner. His, I believe, third goal of the game like that. And that puts this one out of flag runner range as Michigan takes a 6-2 lead. Kroll, quad ball far side for Harvard. She sends it all the way down low to, I believe that's Mertens. That shot didn't go through. It was really close. I think a Michigan player got a hand on it. And Michigan with another stop. And a goal here could really start to turn this game into a runaway for Michigan. Safer beat out by Chen early. Butler misses a meet on Lee. Toyerkoff gets it to Moulter, and there's a whistle here. I think there's going to be a card on Michigan in the dodgeball play.
Yeah, it's cold. So you came out of the house. Keep telling him we're coming to a game,
Long discussion here. Again, I believe the call was in the beater game. As it stands, the score is 6-2 in favor of Michigan. So Ridings from Michigan gets a yellow for contact from behind. Lee from Harvard gets a yellow for an illegal head beat. Both of those players are beaters, so this is going to be one-on-one in the dodgeball game. So Moulter, quad ball in hand with Freed right on top of her here. Safer could be an outlet pass if Moulter can get rid of it. Ball is out and Harvard's gonna run. No dodgeballs back. Michigan's beater was behind the play. Toryakov, oh great beat coming from Butler, and that is a stop for Michigan. Huge play there from Robert Butler. And beats Freed out in the meantime. Butler with a great dodge here. No dodgeballs now in the play, although Chen was able to recover. Gets it to Levy. Niels Mertens came off his brim to block that. And that might be considered a turnover. I think that's what the discussion is here. Just went up with two hands, but both hands are still holding the brim there. Very long discussion here. Finally, we're going to break out of it. So it is going to be considered a blue card for play after dismount because the player blocked the quad ball as he came off broom. That should be a quad ball turnover to Jack Levy. David Chen is behind the Harvard hoops with dodgeball in hand, but all four Michigan quad ball players here. And Levy floats it through himself. Jess Lee is now back into this one. And that makes the score 7-2 in favor of Michigan. Michigan back up to full strength here as well as that penalty expired. Lee beat out behind the play, so Michigan is able to keep dodgeball control. Michigan not recognizing that they could really be pushing here with Lee behind the play. Quad ball goes to Semmergren, missed beat there.
White ball, white ball, white ball!
Toryakov is beat out, Blanchfield has it, all the space in the world in front of her, instead she elects to pass it to Mac Mertens. David Chen runs Toryakov back to the keeper's own line. Chen and Lee now with control. Blanchfield's quad ball in hand. Unsure really what Harvard is waiting for with control. I guess it was just patience to prevent Michigan. Toryakov really made a great strip. Arms went up. I mean, it certainly wasn't contact from behind, but we'll see. So there's going to be discussion here about the Toryakov strip. No foul on the play. Good clean strip from Toryakov. Michigan gets the stop as they keep the lead 7-2. Toryakov immediately beat by Lee. Lee then immediately beats out Levy, but Lee herself is beat out. Bad bounce there for Michigan as the bludger goes way out of bounds. Semmergren can't finish. Blanchfield scores from the ground after a misbeat from Ridings. That pulls Harvard back within 4, 7-3. Michigan's going to make another beater change. Toryakov slowly up the pitch, now with a little bit more pace. Turkov cannot get through Mertens. Drops it. Mertens now up and running. No dodgeballs in front. Can Levy make the hit? Levy trying to force him out of bounds. Mertens going the long way. Finds Semigran though for an easy finish and a quick 2 goals for Harvard. Pull them back within the flag runner range to make this 7-4. Harvard with dodgeball control at this point as well. Turkov slowly up the pitch. And Turkov hits a long shot after some confusion of the beater game. Apologize, my mic fell off and pulled the camera. Turkov hit a floater through the middle hoop. Lee subs out. High press here from Michigan and Tanagai. Tanagai does get beat out by Gottesman for his efforts. Bulwa with Quaffle. Pushing Gottesman forward in front of him as beater. Floats one, and it goes through. Bulwa hits that shot. And Harvard really trying to maintain this 3-goal deficit, 8-5. Turkov directing traffic, telling Tanagai to go down the left, as Silva has the dodgeball in the middle for Harvard or for Michigan. Turkov met high. Martinez comes off broom. Turkov floats a shot over Bulwa's fingertips as well as over the goal. That's a stop for Harvard. And they're on a little bit of a run here. Another goal would bring them within 20 points of Michigan. Hoop zone here from Michigan. Ethan Sturm telling his team to be patient, and yet immediately a misbeat from Gottesman could lead to a Michigan press. Bulwa does use a reset, but now he's coming back into the play. He hits Blanchfield. Blanchfield's shot is no good. That one goes out of bounds, but the aggressive play from Michigan is actually going to win Harvard control here due to the efforts of Gottesman, who was able to win control while Polk was tapping back in. And with that, Michigan is going to make a beater sub. Score here remains 8-5 in favor of Michigan. Torikov sends it to Tanagai. Ridings and Strauss now in for Michigan at beater. Oh, great beat there from Gottesman on Strauss. Good, just going around Ridings. Tanagai slowly backing up, has not used the reset yet. Torikov tiptoes on the line, wasn't good enough. Reset used, marked by Martinez. Turkov sends it down low, and then immediately Safer is beat out by Gottesman, and that's going to be a stop for Harvard. Blanchfield sends it to Felix. Felix to Semigran, floated that one over Semigran's head, and we have a stoppage. This call was definitely made behind the play. I'm unsure why. All right. Blue card on Harvard's Martinez due to a bludger swat. She was wearing the green headband, which is now going to go to Semigran, all the way to the other end of the pitch. So as the stoppage continues, the quad ball is just to be called dead on the ground. Toyarkov and Semigran can race to it, and looks like they both want to. And Semigran came in low, just knocked it out of bounds. Michigan, dodgeball control, and another stoppage. Quick stoppage, unsure what it was for. We're getting right back into it. Turkoff. That's Ridings and Strauss, both with dodgeball in hand in front of him. Deering checking into this game for the first time is on Turkowski's right. Margolis going back left. Turkoff just goes straight through everyone and puts Michigan up 9-5 here. As a big beater play is going on behind the play, but Max Semigran is just sending this one forward. Good hand there from Deering. And then Max Semigran on the second effort. Bola was beat as he made that pass. Semigran was able to finish immediately. And that makes this one, scoreboard says 8-6. I thought it was 8-5, but there's a stoppage anyway. This game has certainly been exciting for large spurts, but there have been many stoppages to really prevent a good flow from starting up here. A long discussion happening here. No foul on the play. Now Michigan's captain's talking with the head ref. Michigan captain's not able to talk their way into a call. So we're going to get underway again here. George Deering will be quad ball for Michigan as we start up again. Riding subs out. And Ryan Sue comes back into the game with Ray Brodeur for Michigan to try to extend the lead against Harvard once again as they've clawed their way to 2 goals down here. Deering deep to Tanagai. Bola goes out to Tanagai. Tanagai just gets around him and then hits Johnson. And Johnson finishes through Martinez and Blanchfield. And we are going to discuss, I think, a beat before. Really, every time this game gets exciting, it seems to stop again. And with Christian Barnes making his way to this side of the field, I think that means we're edging closer to the 20-minute mark.
I figured I should give that back before I snitched.
Are you snitching again?
Yeah.
Okay, I did a good job.
Because the other snitch is an alum of PTA, and I wanted to give him a chance to watch the full game instead of ripping him away to go snitch.
Got it. Can you get combat pay for snitching?
I get $10.
You get whether you snitch or not?
I believe there was a blue card assessed to Harvard. It was assessed to the bench, to, I believe, head coach Ethan Sturm. And Anna Blanchfield is going to be serving that time for her coach. There is no goal because the ball had gone out of bounds before the goal, and I believe that also marks 20 minutes stopped here. So the score is Michigan 8, Harvard 6, and the set score is going to be 14. And when we restart, Harvard is going to have an inbound on the sidelines behind their hoops.
I played it before in the first game, and I was like, why is he like wrestling? But I have it's like, first I thought you were part of the other team. The Harvard guys, you were going back and forth, and then all of a sudden I see one of the guys on Virginia going at you too, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm like, why is he wearing a green?
Yeah, if I wasn't the snitch, that would be highly illegal.
Are we too loud for your broadcast?
Not at all.
It's good. It's 8-6 right now at intermission.
So Michigan, who got off into a hot start in this game, is really struggling now for the past few minutes as Harvard has really brought themselves back into contention here. With only a 2-goal lead, a catch is going to be extremely important, and with Leo Freed seeking for Harvard, it could be a tall ask here from Michigan to prevent him from catching.
I don't teach. I'm in charge of like gaming process. You have a whistle? I don't. Go yell! Stop play! Stop play! Stop play!
All right, so it looks like Neil Peterson is going to be starting seeker for Michigan. Leo Freed is going to be starting seeker for Harvard. Christian Barnes is once again the snitch. And Chris Lecomte, head referee, still over the scorer's table. Like actually telling Ethan Sturm he has to be in the penalty box for the duration of that penalty. It's not a new rule I knew about, but that's certainly what it looked like Lecomte just told Sturm. All right, so we are restarting here. Set score 14, Michigan 8, Harvard 6. Quick subs here for both sides as Boa slowly walks the quaffle out from behind his hoops. Sue and Lee trade beats. They're both out. Brodeur gets beat, but Chen made a great catch. But Peterson gets a first look at the flag runner. And now Peterson wants to block Freed. He's not going to let him go 2 against Barnes. Boa, far side to Martinez. Brodeur beats out Martinez as Boa is now going to bring the quad ball right. Sends it deep to Semmergren. Semmergren fights through Johnson's contact to get it to Boa. Boa backing up against Johnson. Then sends it, floats it to Semmergren, who's met quickly, but then gets around. And that goal is not going to be good. There was definitely a whistle beforehand. And as I look to my left, Leo Freed had sock in hand. So if this catch is good, Harvard will take the lead and have a chance to score a goal. There's going to be a discussion here. I do apologize. I don't think the catch was on camera. I was not looking, so I don't know at all if it's a good catch or not. Really, the unfortunate thing about the whistle for Harvard, if the catch is no good, is that Semmergren had hit a shot and had a lot of momentum. And now with everyone stopped, he has Torikoff right in his face and the whole Michigan defense set up. And no longer off balance. Catch here would obviously be worth that inconvenience to Harvard, but if this is called off, it could really be two negative things piled on top of each other. Oh, did it just fully die?
I think so. I think the live stream is dead. I'll do what I can.
Yeah, let Naresh tell him to come over.
Can't fix that. I'll go get him.
He has like charges and
It's like
stuff.
starting back up. If it doesn't if it starts back up and then dies again, I'll just
Yeah.
I'll go get it.
Long discussion here. The catch is no good. I believe the call was beat before. So not only one negative for Harvard, but that goal was no good because it happened after the whistle. And now Semigran has Torikov right in his face.
On the whistle!
Semigran just throws it on the ground to Bowa, but Torikov wins the race. Hustle play from Torikov, but then Jess Lee is there and is able to beat out the Michigan players. This should be quad ball to Harvard. And Peterson caught again off camera. I apologize, we're staying with quad ball here.
What? It's the yellow card.
So Johnson is given a yellow card for playing after beat. He played after beat before the catch was made, but the whistle happened after. So the catch is no good. So a catch called off both directions so far.
I believe they said Leo Freed was beat before he caught.
So we restart here at Bowa. Bunch of dodgeballs come through. No one goes off broom. Torikov gets the strip. He had green on, so if that was a good beat on him, it wasn't good because he was green in the keeper zone. Missed beat there from Sue. Could be costly, although Brodeur bails him out. And then a great catch from Raider Brodeur. I don't know if that was on camera. Torikov sends it back to Margulis. It goes right through her hand. She's met by Martinez. Martinez gets the wrap on it, gets rid of it to Torikov. Torikov just goes straight through Bowa, and Leo Freed again has sock in hand. So Leo's second catch so far. The goal should be good, which would make it 9-6 Michigan. Although a catch would obviously tie this one up at 9. Set score is 14. So the catch is good. And I thought the head referee then said he had cards to give out, but he does not. So this one's all tied up at 9. We're playing to 14. And Harvard has quad ball in hand here in Max Semigran. Semigran immediately has to go to keeper zone to get it live. Sprints through, tries to get it to Martinez. She's beat by Brodeur. Semigran first to it though, gets around Torikov, gets around everyone. Safer knocks it down. Torikov though can't handle it, kicks it out of bounds. Bowa inbounds. And Harvard slows down a little bit here as Michigan's defense is set up. But dodgeballs are with Chen and Lee of Harvard. Blanchfield, back to Bowa. Back to Blanchfield. Shot's no good, too high. And Semigran can't get to it before it goes out of bounds. So that's going to be a stop for Michigan. Both teams need 5 to win here. As Sue and Chen trade beats, Brodeur is now going to be able to win control. Jess Lee behind. Brodeur just threw one back to Sue. Lee threw hers back to Chen, and Michigan has control. Torikov coming up left side with Sue. Semigran right at the keeper zone line beating Torikov. Torikov content just to stand here for a moment. Though with control of Michigan, not sure what they're waiting for. Great dodge there from Sue. No dodgeballs. Right back to Toyarkov. Toyarkov gets around Blanchfield and then just goes left when he saw Bull was standing in front of the tall hoop to score. 10-9 in favor of Michigan. Again, the set score is 14. Semigran makes the quad ball live and goes to sub as he passes off to Bola. Mac Mertens is going to sub into this game in the green headband. Leo Freed back into the quad ball game after his catch. Jess Lee trying to win control. Ray Brodeur protects as Leo Freed takes it behind. Scores over Johnson. And Brodeur and Leo on the ground here. Sue hasn't recognized it yet. He does now. He should be able to come clean this one up and just beat out Lee. Lee almost caught it, although she didn't. Toyarkov slowly with Sue. Brodeur behind the play, collecting a headband. Levy, far side. Right back to Toyarkov. Freedom Mertens up high for Harvard. Chen with the one dodgeball very deep. Toyarkov walking all the way to the line before he's met by Mertens. Missed beat by Brodeur on Lee. And then Chen gets a beat on Sue, and suddenly there's no dodgeballs with Michigan. A good beat there from Chen. That gives Leo Freed a chance to run a fast break. And we have yet another whistle. Score is 10-all. We're playing to 14. As it stands now, Harvard has dodgeball control with Chen and Lee. Freed has quad ball in hand, and Chen right in front of him. Harvard's Jessica Lee has just been given her third yellow card, which is a red card, and a huge blow for Harvard. That was for contact below the knee. That means that Lee will no longer be able to play in this game, and a substitute will be in the penalty box for 2 minutes. And with only 4 goals needed for both sides, that is a huge boon to Michigan. With the card, quad ball goes to Michigan and Levy, although Chen is right here. Should slow Michigan down. Levy just looked back to Johnson. I mean, Chen is playing super aggressive to be the only beater. He's beat out. Now Toyarkov is going through. Mertens beat out. He makes Freed miss. Toyarkov just takes it himself. 11-10, Harvard. And now Harvard's bench obviously telling Mac Mertens to basically walk this as slow as he can, see if he can make it a 2-minute walk up the pitch. Chen subs out so that Harvard's lone dodgeballs with Daniel Gottesman. Harvard has been warned once for advancing the quaffle. Sue very aggressive here, beats out Freed, although that pulls him out of bounds briefly. Brodeur goes for the beat on Mertens and misses. Sue ends up right there. Great dodge from Sue on Gottesman beat. Sue is now the only beater in the play here. A pass through the middle to Mertens isn't handled. He gets beat out. Toyarkov picks it up, and they get the stop on this power play. Toyarkov with speed, Brodeur and Sue in front of him. Freed is beat out. That's an easy lead for Toyarkov. 2 quick goals, Michigan up 12-10. And with this one played into 14, Michigan is just seeing how many of the goals they can get before Harvard's back to full strength on this red card. Brodeur all the way up in the Harvard keeper zone. She might pay here, although Gottesman thinks better of it. And Brodeur is just going to throw back to let, I believe that's Riding's not protect. Bola Far side, no issues with pace here because Michigan had pressed so high up. Bull was subbing out. Gottesman gets beat. That's going to allow Michigan to press. Freed gets beat out. Gets it to Blanchfield. Blanchfield's met high by 2 players. Kroll gets beat out eventually as well. Toyarkov gets beat by Gottesman. Johnson now picks it up. And thank you. All right, so blue cards to Ridings of Michigan for an illegal bludger swat. Margulis had ended up with this quad ball. It is going to be turned over to Blanchfield, however. And with Harvard's beater penalty expired, they actually now have a bludger power or beater power play of their own against Michigan. Let's see if they can take advantage of it here quickly. So far, pretty slow. Freed walking up the pitch. Shu and Gottesman. Toyarkov meets Freed up high. Freed just gets it right back to Blanchfield. Brodeur holding her own right now, though, as the only beater. She goes hard at Mertens, makes the beat. She's able to get back into play as Toyarkov blocks the pass to Freed. Ball out, Freed. Oh, Toyarkov called back to hoops as Freed runs through. Gets swim moves Levy and then finishes through Johnson. That's going to put Michigan back at full strength, make this one 12-11. Again, set score is 14. Levy walking this one up for Michigan. Toyarkov near side. Johnson far side. Levy misses on the middle hoop. Toyarkov kept it in bounds and then gets around Kroll and then hits Margulis and she puts it through. Great hustle play there from Toyarkov to put Michigan within 1. Mac Mertens wants to run. Brodeur doesn't see him. Oh, she'd been staring down Shu. They both get beat, but Mertens has to slow it down. And a stoppage. A tent blew over and landed onto the pitch, which is why there's a stoppage. The rain has largely subsided, but the wind is as tough as it's been all day. Again, they're just making sure the tent's not going to blow out again. And a bunch of players said they're just going to stand on it to prevent that from happening. So, 13-11 Michigan, playing to 14. Freed, no good. Shot is high. And Michigan has a chance to end it here. Gottesman is being very aggressive to win control back, but Brodeur bails out Ridings to hold it for Michigan. Making sure proper inbounding machine here happens. It does. Toyarkov now with the quaffle. Brodeur is subbing out, I believe, for Elizabeth Williams. Oh, I'll have to grab a number on that in a second. And Michigan here tries to end it. Ridings beats out Shu. And then beats out Gottesman. Levy floats it over to Margulis, but she's stuffed at the hoops by Blanchfield. And Harvard sees another possession here. Mertens keeping it slow. Michigan doing their best to hold control here. They will do it a hustle play by Ridings. Mac Mertens now subbing for Niels Mertens. This Freed has quad ball, met by Toyarkov at the keeper's own line. Back up to the middle in Blanchfield. Back to Freed in the middle, still with Toyarkov. Kroll tries to set a pick on the hoop. It's unsuccessful. Blanchfield on the left side. Now Freed down a beater, but Freed just gets beat out by Ridings and Turkov takes off running. Gottesman makes the game-saving beat, but Levy's first to it, picks it up to Turkov. I guess Turkov was called clear and it hit the quad ball. Not sure how he got back into play so quickly. Levy sends it to Turkov with Williams in front of him. Met by Niels. Mertens at the hoop line, gets right through, over to Margolis. Margolis is hit hard by Freed, and then is beat out by Shu. And that's going to be Harvard ball. Another stop for Harvard here. But the stops aren't worth much if they can't capitalize on the offensive end. We'll see now, starting this possession with control, if they can get a goal. Michigan showing a hoop defense here with just their one bludger, or dodgeball. Blanchfield to Freed. Freed back to Kroll, and then to Freed. Turkov tries to intercept, ends up with it. That's in the keeper zone. That's going to be Turkov ball. And Harvard, again, cannot capitalize after making a number of stops. Kroll playing very aggressive defense here, eventually just goes back to her own side. And Butler subs in for Ridings to see if they can end this one for Michigan. Turkov to Levy. Levy, pump fake. Levy gets beat as he passes to Turkov. Turkov driving. Cannot get through Mertens. Cannot get through Mertens and Freed. Hits the ground. There's going to be some whistles. Both of Harvard's dodgeballs are here on the ground. Leo Freed has been assessed a yellow card for illegal contact. I'm unsure what kind. He's Turk off the quaffle. Shu and Gottesman are right in his face, as well as Niels Mertens, so we'll see if he can finish it off here if he elects to pass it to a teammate. The referees are going to discuss this one briefly. They're happy with the head ref's call. And Julian Turkov is being told he has a reset and Levy is back in play. And then Turkov just elects to use that right to Levy. That is reset used. But it lets Michigan set up for another offense on this power play. Control here for Harvard could be huge. Levy floated one, and I think Gottesman's bludger got a piece of that one to prevent it from going in the middle hoop. And if that is the case, that's a game-saving toss from Gottesman. Blanchfield's right side, working with Gottesman, is going to be met by Torikoff in the green headband at the keeper's own line. So she elects to go back to Mertens. Now Mertens is being told to go left. Going to work with Shu. Missed beat there from Michigan. Is going to be no dodgeballs back. Mertens gets it to Blanchfield. Blanchfield is stuffed by Johnson. And then Michigan players fall on it. And Williams is getting a dodgeball back. She's going to be able to clean this up, although the dog pile rule came into effect and Michigan was able to come out of the pile with that one. Again, I want to say for the fourth time this game, if Michigan scores here, they will win. And despite all these stops, Harvard has actually been unable to score a goal in the meantime to remain down 2. Turikoff, far side, gets it deep into the corner with Johnson, immediately meet by Chen and beat. Williams beats Freed, who had tried to race Turikoff to that quad ball. Floats it to Margot as she's beat out, and Freed picks it up. Michigan can absolutely not buy a goal right now, despite the fact that it would win them this game. And Freed again, right up, and just misses the mark on his pass to Niels, well behind. That goes out of play. And for the nth time in a row, Michigan gets the stop, even though they haven't been able to score. So, once again, Michigan trying to close this one out. Quad ball in the hands of Julian Turikoff. Gets it to Levy. Brodeur misses her beat on Chen, is beat out. Butler got the rebound though. Floating shot didn't go in. Johnson's beat out behind the play, and yet again, Harvard gets the stop. Niels Mertens is being told to run down the pitch by his coach. He's going to take it. Brodeur stays in the middle, and Mertens finishes through Toyarkov to give Harvard a goal, their first in quite a while. Score 13-12 in favor of Michigan. We're playing till 14. Toyarkov goes right, leaves it with Levy middle. Butler and Chen trade beats. Levy to Toyarkov. Toyarkov far side, met by Freed. Freed's not too aggressive on it, gets it right back to Levy, who's managed to tap back into this play. Brodeur is beat out. Johnson just gets it right back to Levy. Harvard finally pushing here. The floater again does not go. No dodgeballs back, and Harvard could tie this one up. Blanchfield gets rid of it to Mertens, who gets it right back to Kroll. Kroll gets it to Leo Freed. Freed spins around Toyarkov. The shot is no good. I think that was a beat before, so it does not matter if it went in. And Michigan has really got to be feeling it now after about 6 times up the pitch with no goals. Harvard finally scoring. This game could get into dangerous territory if they let Harvard score again. They really want to start closing it out now. They're bringing in Ryan Sue to do just that. He's going to play with Brodeur. Immediately, Chen gets the block, but it was enough for Levy to go, and Kroll gets a block on that shot. Harvard gets another stop. Kroll's immediately beat. Niels Mertens picks up quad ball. Harvard's going to play. I think this is going to be a penalty, and I believe that was Johnson who met Mertens as soon as Mertens picked up the quad ball. And Chen, who had a great block, had then tried to beat Ryan Sue, who had already put his fist up for immunity, which was legal, which meant he wasn't beat. That's what got all the dodgeballs on the ground before Anne-Sophie Kroll made a game-saving block. And we're discussing here, I think, whether or not there was a penalty when Harvard picked up the quad ball. I believe it was Johnson who immediately wrapped up Mertens, and they're discussing both whether it was from the front and if it occurred after the player had picked up the ball. UVA trying to leave this tournament now that their day is done, so we just had a bludger swap out so UVA could leave. Blue card for Ryan Sue. I missed what the penalty was, but that is a huge penalty here as Harvard now with a beater power play to tie the game in a position where it would be next goal wins. Leo Freed, Chen in front, elects to go to Blanchfield. Harvard's really going to try to get the best look they can here. Freed just drops it. Back over to Blanchfield. Toyarkov knocks her pass, her shot out of the sky. Brodeur misses the beat and hit the ground first. Freed picks it up, hits the shot, and we are tied up at 13. It is next goal wins. And Michigan, who has not been able to score in about 8 possessions now, really cannot afford to not score here.
Let's go, Michigan!
Toyarkov up the pitch. His beater's making plays way up the field without him. Chen is beat, Shu is beat, Toyarkov runs in, and I think we're going to get an illegal face beat on Ryan Sue. I cannot imagine what other call would be. If that is the call, it was certainly an unlucky play. Sue was really batting at a bludger kind of in an uphanded, underhand motion. And it just came up high on a Harvard player who was bent over. This call obviously looms very large in a next goal win situation. So they're definitely discussing the face beat and whether or not it was legal.
Local or did you come out from Michigan? Native.
No foul on the play. Huge news for Michigan. This Torikoff is going to be met by Niels Mertens here, right at the keeper's own line. He backpedals a little bit. Sue beats out Zhu, and now Brodeur and Sue have control with a chance to win it. Zhu is beat again. Torikoff is just going right at Mertens, goes left, gets around, hoop goes down. He finishes on the far side, but the head referee's hand was in the air. He just wanted to make sure it was a good goal. And it is. Ryan Sue comes into this game. He and Ray Brodeur close it out for Michigan. Final score here, Michigan 140, Harvard 135.